Hey there, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Harris's Heroes. This is the place where we have amazing conversations with some amazing people who have been able to find ways to overcome challenges in their lives and find solutions and maybe even help other people find solutions in their lives and find that source of resilience that is in every single one of us. And I am so happy and thrilled and proud, and you name it. I got so many adjectives I could use to describe how I feel about talking to this guy that we have today as our guest. This is a face, a voice, a name, an image that people who live around here in the Washington area don't need much introduction to. This man is a key member of a legendary group of guys, a bunch of folks who went to the Super Bowl 3 times here in Washington, the multi-time, multi-Pro Bowler himself, and a person who's done so much off the field that has helped people's lives just get better as well over the years. I'm talking about the one, the only, Charles Mann. Charles, it is so good to have you with us here today.
Thank you.
From the top, I got to tell you, when I told people that I was going to be talking to you today, it was crazy because to a man, every person said almost the same exact thing. Man, what a good dude. He's now. First of all, how does it feel to know that that's the first reaction people have when they hear your name behind your back?
Well, first of all, I got to give God the glory. I have followed him since my adult life. I walked into the locker room as a Redskin on day one, and there were two groups that I saw. One was I called those guys the scratch and sniff guys. And then the
Okay.
other guys were, I don't know, there was something different about them. They looked in your eye, they were kind and gracious. And I said, look, I know the scratch and sniff guys. That's who I am. I'll try these
What do you
other
mean by that?
guys.
What do you mean by scratch and sniff?
Just a regular guy, rotten mouth, just, womanizer,
Yeah.
semi-alcoholic, all those things, And then there was this other group, and I just said, you know what? I've lived 21 years being this other guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 3,000 miles away from Sacramento, California, where I grew up. Nobody knows me here. I could be anybody. And Ken Coffey was the guy that I kind of gravitated to. I came in with Daryl Green, but Daryl was trying to find himself at the same time. So I gravitated to Ken, and we rode around in this 325 BMW, 325i BMW, and he was shifting.
Hold up,
and
you fit in
I was
one of
sitting-
those? That wasn't the big
325
one.
BMW. I barely fit in it, but I was in that thing. And he drove me around the streets of Northern Virginia, showed me around, and just loved on me. And because of him, I owe a lot of credit to who I am today, because that group of guys, Art Monk, Monty Coleman, and Daryl, but there were several others. Those guys were the guys I gravitated to on and off the football field, and they just had high character.
Yeah. It's amazing the effect that has. It's osmosis. But the thing is, though, Charles, you have to choose it. That influence
Yes.
could have been there, and you could have
Yes.
chosen to ignore it. So, I mean, there was something inside of you that was resonating toward that.
Yeah, well, I was dating a young lady who's now been my wife for the last 41 years, and I was dating her, and I just wanted to be a different person for her. She was young and naive and beautiful, and I just didn't want to damage her with my mess. And so that was part of it. And then another part was I just lost my father at 20 years old. So I was sad. I was trying to find myself. I wanted to prove to my dad that I could make it to the NFL. I always talked about the NFL and how proud he would have been of me if he would have saw me in the NFL. So
Yeah.
that had a
That's
lot
a
to do with it as well.
That's a lot going on at the same time in a young mind, in a young
Yeah.
man's mind, a man who's still trying to find his way. I mean, in that time, was there a point where you didn't think you would make it? What was the biggest challenge for you then?
At the time, I was 6'6", 235 pounds soaking wet. I played at most of my career at 275. So I gained 40 pounds over a 3-year period. And every year in those first 3 years, I didn't think I'd make it. I said, I'm not going to be
Really?
able to. It was brutal. It was brutalizing. I mean, I'd get done with a game. I couldn't go to the club or hang out or whatever. I had to go home and ice up and heal. And I had to be ready for Monday practice. And, it was tough. And it was 16 games plus the 4 preseason games. I mean, and in college, you played 11 games and it was over. All of a sudden
Uh-huh.
now I've got these extra games. I'm light, I'm fast, but I'm fragile. So I had to get
Oh yeah.
a
And
little
you were
bit more
those days you were
beefy.
hitting in practice too. I mean,
Oh
it
my
wasn't
God,
like it is
yes.
now. Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
these. Look at these.
Uh,
These are. I don't know if you can see how crooked they are.
yeah.
Especially
Oh
this
man,
one right here goes
you got a
sideways.
bunch of what I call Booger McFarlands.
No, Booger ain't got nothing on me. He ain't got nothing on me. Mine are worse off than his. So absolutely. I
But
couldn't be a
I
hand
love
model here, Leon. I couldn't be a hand model ever.
a model of what not to do. Oh man. But somehow what I loved about your story though is that you went through all that and you chose the right things. That's one of the things I tell people, young folks, when I talk to them, is that the most important decision you'll ever make is picking the right friends.
Mm,
Because you will listen to your friends more than you listen to your parents. You
mm,
around them more than you are your parents. And if you're
yes.
right and you pick the right ones who want the right things, want the same things out of life that you
Yeah.
eventually want, somehow,
Yeah.
some way, you make the little decisions along the way that get you there.
Yeah.
And you did that, and you didn't have to have someone tell you that. So, who would you say is the one person probably that you would say was your North Star for you coming up?
Ken Coffey, strong
Yeah.
safety, number 48 out of Big Spring, Texas. Played
Uh,
on the team for, I think, 3 years and was released, but stayed in the area. Has been an influence in my life even
mhm.
today. He and I just were inseparable, and he was kind of my daddy, even
Uh,
though we're only a year apart in age. He
mm,
just gave me some good guidance, and something that I like to say all the time now is most things in life are caught, not taught. So I just
mm,
lived a certain way because I watched him live that way.
yeah.
And so even with my three children, I have three adult children now, 37, 33, and 31.
Mm,
I lived a certain way during the time that they were at home so that they
mhm.
could see how they should behave, not tell them how they should behave.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
wife did all that. I just
Yeah.
lived a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I was up before anybody got downstairs. I never yelled at my wife. I never had a coarse word. Just all that stuff. And for somebody 6'6", 275,
mhm.
I'm looked at sometimes scary. But I did not
Oh,
make my children fear me. I just tried to be the daddy that they needed and expected.
and that probably took some work because that's what you did for a living was throw people around. You had to have
Yes.
that in you.
I had split personalities.
Well, that's another reason why I admire your transition to off the field life because you found a way to take something from that experience and what
Mm,
you've learned it through all those ups and downs and those aches and pains and all
yeah.
that to turn it into something profitable and productive and also something that actually has improved the lives for a lot of people.
Mm,
You've been out there and doing a lot of work for nonprofits.
yes.
And as a matter of fact, it would give us those who are watching right now, maybe looking for something to get with. What are you working? Who are you working with now?
Well, today I work for the Williams Centers for Wellness and Recovery. It's basically a recovery center, drugs and alcohol, kids drug addiction. I mean, in Loudoun County alone, where we have this center, I mean, there's overdoses, fentanyl
The
overdoses. There's
fentanyl issue out there has just been
It's
it's
really
wrecked
bad.
it's
Yes,
wrecked
it's really
lives, it's
bad.
wrecked families, it's wrecked communities out there right now.
Yes. And one of my best friends, Rod Williams, runs the Williams Center, and he's a dear friend. I will tell you the story. So Ken Coffey was leaving the area. He lived in Ellicott City, Maryland, and he was getting ready to go back home to Texas. And he said, I need to connect you with another friend. And I
Hmm.
said, okay, is he a former football player? He said, no. He said, just a guy. He works for Inova. He's a VP at a Inova Health System. And I just want you to, I said, Ken, I don't need any more friends. And I say that because we're inseparable today. 5 years later, we're 3 days apart in age. He's
uh,
older. He's the salt of the earth. He is very similar to me, and that guy
mm,
I've been walking with for a long time, and it's been fantastic. So he has been an inspiration to me. but I've
Uh-huh.
also used his life and his family to be my inspiration as well. I basically am looking at a mini me doing
Yeah.
life with his family.
Well, and again, the beauty in that is that it's another way of you giving back. You know, you've taken what you've
Yes.
learned and you're passing it on. You were
Yes.
talking, about people watching. You're doing the
Yes.
same thing for others, and that
Yeah.
is going to pay. There's a ripple effect from that.
Yeah, let me tell you this. I've been living at a tension and not at ease all my life.
Mm,
And let me say this. We went to London. We were going to play the Footers in Wembley Stadium in London. And I was the lead guy on the Redskins to go ahead there, 2 months or 3 months early and do a bunch of press stuff. And then there was a 49er there as well.
right.
And I remember going to the palace and watching the guards, and the guards would stand there straight at attention and they looked
Yeah.
straight ahead and they didn't even look like they breathed. And they had the helmet on with the
Uh-huh.
big hat
With
on
the
their
bearskin
head.
hat. Yeah.
Yes. And they didn't move. I mean, the guy was looking straight ahead. I didn't even see him blink. And I went all up to him and looking all up under his
You were one of
nostrils and
those.
checking. I was like, this guy, he couldn't have started his career that still. But what happened is over time, he got very good at standing at attention and not
Hmm.
at ease. So initially for me, standing at attention, living a life very strict and at attention was hard. But over time, I perfected it. Now I stand at attention without even knowing it. And so
Mm.
that's how I've lived my life. That's
Ah,
why, people can't really say anything negative about me. I
yeah.
don't have the stuff. They can't say anything. Charles. I've been in the public eye for 42 years in this
Yeah.
community and DUI, shot my
Yeah.
wife or shot myself in the leg, dragged my wife down the hall, whatever. I haven't done anything. And that's not by happenstance. That's by living this certain way.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've done a lot with that life. In fact, some folks who may be watching this and listening to you may not realize that you had a chance to start a bit of an acting career. Listening to Terry. I was listening to Terry
What
McLaurin's
are you
press conference.
talking about?
Hey, listen, man. I saw the commercials. I was listening to Terry McLaurin's press conference.
Yes.
Terry McLaurin
Yes.
is the number one receiver on the Washington team, and he's in a contract dispute right now with the team. And he had a press conference. He was wrapping up a commercial shoot here in town,
Yep.
and I knew I was going to be talking to you. And it hit me. I was like, wait a second. I got to ask Charles. Does he still have the acting bug? Charles,
I never,
Google him.
never had. I never had it, but Linda Townsend in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Linda Townsend has been my agent in the acting world
Uh
forever. She is really good and she is always encouraging me.
huh.
But, I did all these commercials. I was the first Swanson Hungry Man
That's right. You were
before,
the hungry man.
and of course, my name, Hungry Man, it made
Man.
sense. I did Diet Coke commercials, 3 national commercials over a course of a couple of years. I was a Swanson Hungry Man. I still remember my lines: 50% more meat, extra portions that taste extra good. I had to say that 1,000
Oh,
times.
oh, do you get paid every time you say it now?
No, yeah, enjoyed the commercials were fun. The acting was a hurry up and wait. I was in A Man Called Hawk. Remember Avery Brooks?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Avery
Spencer for
Brooks.
Hire. That was the
Spencer.
spinoff. And
Spencer.
he used to carry his gun like a baby in his arm, like this. He would carry his gun, and even off camera, I'm like, what is he doing? This guy is a little bit over the top. I was arguing with the director because the one episode I played in Spencer for Hawk, I was shot and killed. And I was negotiating with the guy to see if I could live so I could play in another episode.
Well, that's the brother's the first one to get killed in all those.
Every
You
time.
know,
Why is
every
that?
movie. That's yeah. You should have known. You should have seen that coming.
That's why I was negotiating to see if I could live.
Well, since I mentioned it, do you have any thoughts about what the team is doing with Terry McLaurin? What's up with that?
The guy is a class act. The Commanders are a class act.
You can say that now.
I've been waiting to say that. Under
There you
this
go.
administration,
Hmm.
and I just believe we're a little, because it's taken so long, a little bit of the garbage is coming out and you're seeing it in the open. They don't
Hmm.
want that. I don't think Josh Harris wants that.
No.
part of the business revealed, and I think they're going to get the deal done. I really do. He is awesome as a receiver. It's fun to watch him. He's just a tribute to the team.
And he's a
There's
leader.
nothing
He's a
negative
leader in the
about
locker
him.
room. Yeah, he's a
Oh,
leader in the
he's a
locker
locker
room.
room good guy. He's
Yeah.
everything. So I believe this is just white noise. They're going to get the deal done.
Yeah, this regime hasn't really made any real false steps so far. So you got to
They have
figure that
not.
they'll get this one straight. One
Yeah.
other thing that's taken forever is the retirement of your boy Art Monk's number.
Yeah.
Number 81 is finally going to be retired. His number is good enough for the Hall of Fame. It should have been good enough to be retired here a long time
Yeah.
ago. That's my thoughts. Have you
I think
talked to
that's
him
I
about this?
think that's most people's thoughts. That's even Josh Harris's thoughts. Josh
Well,
Harris couldn't
have you
wait
talked
to
to
do
Art about
this.
it at all? What do you think about it? And have you talked to Art about it?
So I was there the day they revealed it. My wife and I, we were part of the people in the garage waiting for the Harris group to come up in their
Mm.
black SUVs, rolling up on Art's house in Orlando, Florida. And then he opened the door, and Gary Clark and Ricky Saunders and Doug Williams were standing there, and he said, "What the?" He had no clue. And his sister said, "What are you saying? What the what? What was
Uh,
it?" He said, "I'm just shocked." It couldn't happen to a better person. The timing is excellent.
yeah,
The team is on the rise. It's just the right thing to do at the right time. And Art is
yeah,
really honored. He really
yeah.
is. He did Rick Doc Walker's radio show yesterday.
Oh, he did. I missed that.
He did a podcast for the Commanders and talked for 20, 25 minutes.
And he
And
doesn't talk. Art
he did
doesn't
it.
talk
He
usually.
talked, Leon. He talked and talked
Awesome.
well and had a lot to say. You know, when you're quiet like that for as long as he's got a lot to say.
It's been
So all
bottling
you got to
up.
do is dig it out of him. Yeah. He's just been, and you know what? I knew his dad. His dad was the same way. He just
No,
sat in the
really.
corner. Art could be in the room, and you and I could be talking like this, and Art could just be
Uh,
sitting over the corner and won't say one word. He got ideas. He might have something to add to it, but he'd rather just keep his mouth shut. It's
I could
crazy.
see that. I
It's
could see
crazy.
that.
I'm not like that, as you see.
Well, no, since you don't mind talking, I want you to share with us a couple of things. I always ask folks for the best advice they ever got and the worst advice they ever got. Okay. In your case,
Yeah.
I'd like to hear both. Start with the worst. What was the worst advice you ever got?
You know, I don't know if it's worse anymore, but when I first got it, it was the worst. And
Mm,
so that probably isn't going to fit this very well. But to me, at the
yeah.
time, it was the worst advice I got. It was from my brother. I have a
Mm,
brother that's 9 years older than me. He's an anesthesiologist. He just retired. His
okay.
name is Michael. He played basketball for Stanford, 6'9". He was
Oh,
on
so
the
he was
when
your
he was
big
on the
brother.
basketball. Yeah, he's tall. When he was on the basketball court, Jim Plunkett was on the football field, and so
Okay.
yeah, he played during that era. Anyway, he told me you'll need when you need to know it, you'll know it. And I was
Yeah.
like, no, I was asking him a question about something. He said, you don't need to
Mm,
know that right now. When you need to know
yeah.
it, you'll know it. I said, I'll be doggone. I was very upset with him. But you know what?
Uh,
Now
yeah.
he's
You get
right.
it. Now you
When
get
I
it.
need to know something, I'm gonna
Yeah.
dig in and I'm gonna learn it and I'm gonna understand it. But when I'm
Yeah.
just trying to know it because I want to play Jeopardy or something, it doesn't make any sense. You're
Yeah.
not going to remember it because it's not
Yeah.
important to you. So
Mm.
when you need to know something, you'll know it. It
So
came off
is
kind of smart, came off smart, and I didn't like it. But now it's been good. The
that
best advice
that's the kind of advice you would pass on to younger folks coming up behind
today
you
I
now?
would, now that I know it better. Yeah. The best advice I had, and I pass it on and I give it to everybody,
Mm.
and my son even has it tatted on his arm, which I was very
Ah.
upset about because I told him I'm alive. I can tell you this every day. You don't have to tattoo that on your arm, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
You
It's
finish. How
all
you
about
finish.
the finish. Let's finish
Absolutely.
strong. Finish
Absolutely.
strong. Everything I've
Absolutely.
done in life, it's all about how I finish. You may start off a little shaky. You may make a couple of missteps. You may do
Hmm.
this or that wrong, but it's all about how did you finish that? That's the important part.
Hmm. Yeah. With that in mind, then what would you say is the most meaningful accomplishment that you have made in on the field and off the field in your life?
41 years of marriage to one woman
Hmm.
who I adore. Her name is Tyrena Mann, and she is the love of my life. And she is, I thought I loved her pretty well at 10 years, at 20
Uh,
years,
uh,
even at 30 years. But I'm telling you, we are best buddies.
oh,
She is my
that's
ride
a
or
blessing.
die, and it's just
Uh,
I hadn't dated anybody over 2 weeks until I met her. And
oh, is
now
that
I've been
right?
with her, and I've been with her for 43 years, married 41. So
How
I
did you
mean,
know? Well, I know a lot of
I
people.
didn't, I
How did you
didn't,
know when you knew?
I didn't know. I'm telling you, this is a
Huh.
God thing. I had no idea. I didn't know. I'm a blind dog in a meat house. I didn't know what I was going after. you know.
But everything smells good. Huh? Everything looks good.
She just, I got here. I was my rookie year riding around with Ken Coffee in that 325 BMW and learning my way around and missing this woman dearly. And I
Uh,
had a $700 phone bill on a
oh, oh,
landline. And I said, this got to stop. I can't afford this. So I flew to Vegas, where she lived. We did a dinner. I brought my mom into town, and I asked for her hand in marriage in front of her parents and my mom. And then I also went to the father on the side and said, I want to bring her to Washington D.C. with me in this year while we're planning the wedding. And she said he'll never say yes to that. You can ask him. Good luck. And he said yes. And so we
awesome.
spent the first year together planning the wedding of my
Uh,
rookie year. And after my rookie year, we got married, and that was 1984, June
wow.
16th, 1984.
What
It's
a blessing.
special. It is.
That's
It is.
what a blessing.
That's the best gift God has ever
Yeah.
gave me. Yes.
Well, that is frankly the perfect answer. But if I ask you what is your
It's the
greatest
truth,
accomplishment,
brother. It's the truth. You
yeah,
wanted to know. It ain't
yeah,
sexy. It ain't,
yeah,
whatever. The Super Bowls
yeah,
were great. They come and go. The memories. I
mm,
got the rings. So, but her and our relationship, I mean, I'm 64 years old. I get to grow old with her.
yeah.
Things don't work as well now. And, I got a little hitch in my giddy up and all that stuff. And she still loves me.
No. And hey, what good are those rings if you can't even put them on? You can't put them on those fingers anyway. So
Hand
the heck with
model.
the
I'm
ring.
telling you, I'm looking for a hand model job.
You can probably get one for a haunted house somewhere. But anyway, we'll leave
I
that
didn't
to
think
another
about that.
conversation for another day. All right, man. Well, listen. Okay, if you were to do a podcast today, who would you want to have as your next guest?
Art Monk.
Say again?
Art Monk.
Art Monk. Ooh. Any way you think we could get him here? All right. We're on it.
I
All
got you.
right, my man.
I got you. This is part of, when you get keyed into the network, this is part of what the network does for you.
There you
I
go.
got
There
you.
you go. All right, man. And look, and we'll make sure that works both ways. All right.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Okay. All right.
Awesome.
But that's not the reason for it. The reason I've admired you on the air for many years.
No, thank you. I
Smooth
appreciate
brother
that.
up there. Look at us representing us well. So, this is just, I've adored you from afar.
Oh, man, I
Never had
appreciate
met
that.
you, but just respected the heck out of you. So,
Okay. All right. And okay, your Zell number is what again? All right. Hey, send. All right. Thanks, man. Charles, man. Like I said at the outset, I knew I was going to enjoy this. I got to tell you, man, I love talking to you and hope to do so again in person next time around. You're
okay.
the best. I
Sounds
really
good.
appreciate you. All the
I had to
best to you.
stand up tall now because I know you up there too. I'm 6'6". How tall are you?
Listen, I'm getting shorter by the day now.
Well,
I'm
where'd you
under six.
start?
Started at 6'1". Believe
You're
it.
my son's
Yeah.
height.
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You're
Look,
average.
I might reach an armpit. Okay, I might reach one of your armpits. That's about it. You got no threat here. You got nothing to worry about. All right.
No, 6'1" is a good height. You can fit into stuff. You don't have to worry about, being
Yeah.
too much
I don't have to worry
legs.
about trying to squeeze into a BMW
Thank you.
325i back in the
Yeah,
day.
thank you.
All right,
All
Charles,
right.
man. God
I
bless you.
got you. This was great. Thank you. All the questions, I loved it. Loved where you headed. You asked me stuff my wife was curious as to what you might be asking. And I said,
Well,
look, I don't know, but it says Harris Heroes. So I'm going off of that.
we're
Mm,
all about trying to find ways to inspire people, to find that thing inside of them that is going to get them over what's in front of them. That's
mm,
what I need in my life.
mm,
And
mm,
that's what I've looked for when I've talked to people or looked to people like you and
mm.
examples that you set out there every day, just by you standing. All right. You're standing at attention has done
Yeah,
that for a lot of people along the way,
yeah,
me included. That's
yeah.
what this is all about. And so you coming out here and sharing your insights is only going to inspire more people to make their lives even better. And that's
Wow,
why, having you
wow.
with us here today was a real blessing. So I want to
Good,
thank you for
good.
that,
I
Charles.
got to get you in the gym next.
Okay. You got it.
I want to see you squeal a little bit.
That won't be hard to do. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. All right, Jeremy, what you think, buddy?